Welcome back to Bullpen Pitch Fest in Minneapolis. I'm James Zanewicz, the Chief Strategy Officer from Tulane Medicine, and we're here to continue the Bullpen interviews. So first of all, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what company you're with?
Thank you very much. I'm Adam Southam. I'm with a company called GoNo. GoNo is a functional food as medicine company. We solve the problem of what you should eat. Specifically, when I say you, I mean you. Personalized precision medicine for each individual, all backed by clinical studies from little organizations like the Mayo and Johns Hopkins.
So you actually are going to help me be less fat.
I really am.
I like this.
I really am.
You were kidding before. You were serious.
No. And no, we're good.
I like this.
Yeah. You've got a pound to lose. I've got 2.
More than a pound, but thank you. My trainer would disagree and tell you directly.
Nah.
So I want to know more about before we dig more into GoNo, tell me a little more about your background and how you got here. How did you train? What have you done a little bit before?
Oh, wow. Well, I hope we've got a few hours.
Age 26, how is that possible?
Okay, you're good. Just looking for a tip. I'll give you a tip.
I'm not, but I have many companies that I can introduce you to.
Sell Enron. So let's see, way back in the dark ages, well, for starters, I started my first company when I was 8. And by the time I was 14, I decided that school wasn't for me. My parents amazingly let me talk them into that idea, and I went and rode horses. So I became an athlete, and I rode horses for 7 years with sleep and meals in between. But generally speaking, for a long time, and was at an Olympic stable, and I was the best of the worst.
Which is not the good place to be, right?
Not really. Or maybe it was the worst of the best.
You were the big fish, small pond. Yeah.
I was kind of like the algae, actually. But yeah, so I started solving problems. And for the last 25 years, I've been solving problems created, ironically, because I'm a grade 10 dropout, by algorithms that I invent in my brain.
Wow.
And I turn those algorithms into software as a service companies that then I get patents for and monetize. And GoNo is the most important thing that I have or ever will do on this planet.
So when people often say they're life-trained entrepreneurs, you really are, because you started at a very young age, knowing you're passionate about it. So can you tell us a little bit more about GoNo and what you're working on with it right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the bottom line is we've got nearly 66% of the people who actually have one or more chronic diseases. 80% of those chronic diseases are caused by the food we eat.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a disaster. And we just did a little session next door where we pulled out, 50 different products, and people were scanning them to figure out whether they were good or bad. And I said, okay, what do you think about Fruit Loops and what do you think about Cheerios? And everybody laughed when I said Fruit Loops. There are people where Fruit Loops is actually good for them. Now, there's not as many as...
It's your body chemistry, right?
It's about you.
Yeah.
It's about you. And so everything we do is clinically based, and we're the only company in the world that can do multiple conditions at the same time. So we do have competitors, but they can only deal with one disease at the same time. And if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic or many other things, you've got multiple comorbidities. When you think about the math behind this, from the grade 10 dropout here, but the math is colossal because you take one disease and everything about it. It's not one disease plus one disease. It's X diseases to the power of the number of diseases, and it's just massive things. So it took 13 years of work to get to, 2 years ago when we started to build the app.
And are you partnered with any centers of culinary medicine in this at all yet?
That's a great question. Oh, what? Artie.
I have one for you at Tulane that you can meet in October. That's what I'm saying.
I believe it's Tulane in October.
Tulane. Bio in the Bayou, October. Come down and meet ours.
I'll be there. Will you be there with me, Artie? Okay, good.
Yeah.
So I've spent a lot of time with an organization called Healthy Kitchens, Healthy Lives. And that is the joint venture between the Harvard School of Public Health and
They weren't first. It's fine.
Oh,
we were.
I've heard that. Well, but the CIA, the Culinary Institute of America, was first before the CIA, the guys with the spooky guns and stuff. Yeah. So it's amazing what you find out when you're in this business.
You learn things, right?
Yeah. So we are friends with a lot of organizations. Yeah. There's nothing official, but as an example, Hennepin Healthcare, we're friends with them. We're all speaking the same language. Yeah. And the language is, how do we make people live longer, happier, healthier, smile more, less cost to the insurers?
Absolutely.
Right? And to us as individuals. And by the way, less sick days. That sounds great to an employer, but you know who it's really great to? Us.
Yeah.
The guys and gals working. We don't want to be sick. Yeah. We don't want sick. Yeah.
Well, so many long-term chronic diseases can come from diet and what diet
80%.
causes to the human body.
Yeah.
So it's incredible that you're doing something that can help us all be better at that. So how can the bullpen help you with that? What can they do?
Well, let's see. I could say something funny, but we'll cut to the chase.
Most of what you say is funny. I've noticed that.
Thank you. Well, if I fail to save the world, I'll be a sit-down comedic.
There we go.
Comedian. So we're looking for partnerships.
Okay.
With hospitals, with health systems, with medical practices. We fit into a lot of buckets. We're a little weird because we fit into the life insurance, the health insurance, employee benefits, obviously med tech. And we are digital health, and then the grocery store where the decisions are made and making the right decision in the grocery store. So our big push is getting partnerships with grocery stores and medical practices because, again, that doc in the front line is the front line. But she doesn't necessarily know anything about nutrition, and she might be a little embarrassed about it and says, I don't know, go see the nutritionist. Well, there are not enough nutritionists by a fraction who could serve the people who need that. We're an adjuvant to the nutritionist, and maybe you don't have to see a nutritionist if you're just eating the wrong pizza.
Yeah, because if you could throw your genetic information into this app and just have the app say, no, this is good for you, this is bad, it makes it so simple.
It is.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as scanning and finding out, right?
Just scan and it's go or no.
That is amazing. And I met another company just last week you might want to meet because they have turned everything into a QR code, including like the images on boxes that could then feed into what you do and make it very simple.
Absolutely. And with technology and AI coming out, we will not even, there's a point where we won't need any codes at all.
Yep.
Just the label reading will happen by itself. It's already there. It's already here. We're a ways away from adding that technology. But
so if this resonates with someone and they want to learn more or they feel like they can help your company move forward, how should they reach out to you? LinkedIn, email, cocktails, brunch? What's your favorite? All the above.
Yep. Not at the same time. Well, actually, maybe, I suppose. Yes. Email adam@gono.app, LinkedIn, absolutely, on our website. And you can buy our app in the app stores.
So just look for GoNo?
Just look for GoNo. We don't really care if you buy it because we hope that somebody big is going to buy it and give it to you.
For free, yeah.
Yeah. And,
in exchange for all your data. Yeah.
Well, actually, that's a great question. So we have some very absolute pillars, tenets in our company. One of them is that the data belongs to you and only you, and it can't be anyone else. Now, if you want that data to go somewhere, fine, but that's your choice. You want to put it on a billboard? You want to share it with your doctor? You want to share it with your employer?
Yeah.
It's up to you. No one else. And that will always be the case. And the other tenet is we only do things backed by clinical evidence. There's no conjecture. There's no, well, these people think.
Yeah. Nice. Well, Adam, thank you so much for making time to sit with us. I enjoyed chatting with you at the ball game last night and even more so learning about what you're doing today.
Well, the pleasure's been mine.
And I'll see you later at the bar.
Thank goodness. Thanks. Appreciate it.